girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I like the girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I like the girls with their nails done. Girls with their
Good morning. Welcome back. Welcome back. Happy Tuesday. Morning. Margin, Dino, Golf Nut, Ponzi, Chef, Jacob. What's going on, my friends? Press that like button. Absolutely. Let's get ready to rumble. Yes, sir. Appreciate that, Real Swam. Hope you enjoyed the video. Good morning, David. Margin likes arm. Morning, guys. Morning. What's up, Stone? Good work recently, Stone. Bruce. Wepa. Alrighty. Appreciate that, Rick. Morning, David. Looking like a decent morning so far. Definitely higher again here in the pre-market. Some very nice hold yesterday again. As we discussed, the NASDAQ futures above that 20,575 held very nicely. The SPY maintaining that 554.50. On the pullbacks, 555. Yeah, I have it at 554.50 was sort of that key level there. We'll go over it, of course. But NASDAQ really was the strong one yesterday. Interesting day yesterday between the NASDAQ and the S&P. A lot of a lot of difference, a lot of divergence between the two. SPY, not quite much of a mover, but NASDAQ was really the strong one. So we saw financials, healthcare, and the energy sector sort of weak yesterday, which was putting a lot of pressure on the SPY, while that NASDAQ was just sort of running away with it. So interesting day there. Semiconductors strong as well. That SMH was strong. A lot of semiconductor strength, as you guys see this morning. Nvidia, AMD still working on that comeback trade. Very strong day for AMD. SMCI had a day. Broadcom had a day. ARM again had a decent day. So some strong names on the semiconductor side. But we will see what happens today. We have Powell testimony today at 10 o'clock, so 30 minutes after open. That's something to be cautious of. And then we have CPI on Thursday. We're approaching that CPI day. So going to have to be cautious over the next few days here to just really, be cautious with the positions that I'm holding. You guys know I'm still in my Nvidia trade. I'm still in my AMD trade. I'm still in my Broadcom trade. So I do have to be cautious of some of these events, make sure that there's no kind of, sudden large drops on the market. But yeah, we talked about in my video yesterday, if you want to go check that out, maybe later today, how to maintain these positions in terms of watching the technicals, monitoring the macro trend. Very important. And this is what's gotten me to, being up to where I am on some of these trades. So been good. Been very good. Very hot start to July. Yeah, that's about my spiel for the day. Let's go ahead and get started. Press that like button if you guys could. It would be fantastic. Subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Let's jump into it. So first thing is first, let's go ahead and pull up that economic calendar here. You guys can see economic calendar today. We have that Fed Chair Powell testimony at 10 o'clock. We have the same thing at 10 o'clock tomorrow. So a little two-day testimony for Mr. Powell. We'll see how much it affects the market. I would assume there is going to be some volatility from it. Whenever Powell opens his mouth, there is always something moving on the market. So let's be aware of that today. That's 30 minutes after open. I would be just cautious of, just be aware of it, right? Don't be over leveraged. Don't be panicked. If you're holding something, let the market shake a little bit. Let the volatility come in. No reason to be panicking over it, but you only panic if you're over leveraged, right? That's usually when you start to panic. So make sure you're comfortable at these two time frames, today and tomorrow, 10 o'clock. Yellen will also be speaking, it looks like at the same time. So a lot of members speaking over the next 2 days. Things to be cautious of. Got that 10-year bond auction at 1 o'clock on tomorrow, on Wednesday. And then here's the big event, in my opinion. It's Thursday, CPI, Friday, PPI. So some big stuff approaching there. So be aware of all of that. All right. Earnings season is approaching. Not quite here yet, so we'll go ahead and move on. Damn, man, that sucks. Wow. Tesla roof crack. I didn't know they cracked like that. I'm not sure how you fix that. Hopefully that's a warranty thing. Yeah. Ouch. I'm not sure if I'm assuming that's a warranty thing. I haven't even thought about that. All right. Let's get into the futures. So, NASDAQ, yesterday, we talked about the 20,575 level, and we just sort of hovered above it all day. All right, we never quite got Bondo the glass. We came down to test it. We got close, right? We got close. We got around that 588 level yesterday in the morning pullback and found some strong buying. Excuse me. A little tired this morning, even though I went to bed so early. So 20,575, Chef, that was amped. He has a Tesla, and it looked like the roof cracked. It looked like a rock hit the very top of the glass, spidered down the whole panel. So we came back down to that 20,575, right? We came close to it. Really, a lot of buyers just sort of stepping up down here, and you saw the NASDAQ just sort of hover and just sort of continue higher, right? So that 20,575 is still absolutely a level we're going to be watching. If we get pullbacks to this level at any point in the future, this is still going to be a spot that we look for that new long entry, right? If we do get a pullback at some point this week down into this 575, this could be a great area to look for that new long, right? That's definitely a key level to be paying attention to. This is also that key level to pay attention to if we break below, right? So the analysis goes both ways, right? If we break below 575, if we start to see this level turn into a rejection point sometime here in the near future, then that is likely where that flip comes in, right? And that's where that market structure, right, the short-term market structure might break down, right? It could break down if we fail under, let's say, the 670 today, under the 575, right? Those are those structure breaks that could start to see some weakness on the market. So for now, we're holding above them, and we continue higher, 575, and it looks like the one today for me is 670. 20,670, I believe, is the key level of the day. That is yesterday's highs. Yesterday's highs, you can see right here, 20,670, 20,670. You can see that double top high from yesterday intraday. And then look at what it did here in the after-hour session. In the after-hour session, the 20,670 turned into a support, which caused the market to move higher. So today, that level is 20,670, and of course, there are 20,575 from yesterday. So if we get pullbacks today, I'll be looking for longs off these levels, right? Longs off 670, longs off 575 would be two spots that I'd like to watch. Right now, you can see the NASDAQ is really just sort of maintaining higher here. You could put a level here if you'd really like. You could put a little, I'd call it like 712, 713. You could throw a little level there. You can see there's been a general maintain right in that zone right there, right? So you could go ahead and put a real short-term level there if you are interested around that 710, 711 area. I wouldn't long off this level regardless, right? So that's why I don't put a level there. All right, if I'm not going to long off the level, I'm probably not going to put the level there. It might sort of skew my decisions, but there is a level here. You could try to long off this level today. The reason I would not long off this level personally is because it's too close to this high, right? It's not, there's no risk reward there, right? This is a 1-to-1. So I'm not too interested in that level because it's too close to supply highs, right? So I don't really want to long right into that 750 off the 711, 710 area. I would want to be long here, right? I would require a deeper pullback and then long here off 670 back into the 750. So you could throw that 710 on there. I just don't think it's a level you'd really want to long off of, because if you long off this, you probably could see the rejection come in a little bit higher, and it's probably just not even worth your time. If we do not get the pullback towards this 670 today and we just sort of move higher, then obviously you're just looking for this, guys. If we just get a push higher and hold over 750, then you're just looking for a hold and a long above 750, all right? So key levels for me, 670, 575 remains, and then, of course, that high at 750 today, that's going to be a key level to be careful of on the intraday. QQQ, very clear levels here in the pre-market. You guys can see yesterday's highs. I like that level today, 497.50. I think that's a very clear level. That's something to be watching today, for 497.50. That is right here. You can see previous high, and the after-hour session support, right? So I'm not too fond, like I said, on the QQQ or on the NASDAQ. I'm probably not going to look too aggressively long off 498.50 today because, like I said, it's just a little bit too close to that supply high. So I do have the level there, but really not something I'd be too interested in. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the charts just to show you guys. I would want to pull back to yesterday's highs, right? That would be the prime time long spot for me right here. Yesterday's highs. Look to see if that holds. If it does, that would be my spot. So definitely looking for pullbacks to previous day highs. I always love that previous day high pullback, man. That's always the prime time spot for that retest long, if the market, of course, stays strong. So 497.50 right here, 497.50. That's yesterday's highs on the QQQ. That would be my spot to look for. Obviously, 499.50 looks tough. That's this morning rejection that continues to come in. And then below that, we can see yesterday, we just perfectly held 496 all morning, right? 496, 496, 496, 496. So QQQ, yesterday lows, 496, yesterday highs, 497.50, and then be aware of that 499.50 today. This would be my spot today. This is my prime time spot to see if we can get a pullback to 497.50. If we break, right, of course, on the flip side, if we break under yesterday's highs, weakness to come in, right? Of course, we have to react to that. S&P 500, a little bit weaker yesterday, right? We have a little bit of a weaker S&P 500 on the intraday, but definitely sort of caught up later day. Let me go ahead and zoom in here and give you guys some of these updated levels. So here's the S&P 500 for me. This is how I have it mapped out. We can clearly see that shelf, that low that came in 56.10 between Friday and Monday of this week. We can see that 56.10 double bottom right here. So I like that level there. We can see that general support that came in all day yesterday around this 56.18, right? 56.18, 56.18. We can see that right there. That's another level, right? That's my next 56.18 level. And then here in the pre-market today, we can very clearly see this little 56.32 area, right? 56.32, 56.32. So pre-market lows here around 56.32 look to be important here. That's something I'd like to see hold. If we fail below that 56.32 today, we probably will trade back down towards this 56.18, right? We probably will see that slip, possibly back towards that yesterday low where we really held strong. That could be a very interesting long entry today at 56.18. That's if, and this is if, that's if we break under 56.32. Now, if we just hold over 56.32 today, right, and we just keep seeing this demand step up and we just consolidate here, my assumption is we're eventually going to get that push again. We're going to need a break over 56.40. 56.40 is really that triple top high this morning. So the ES, you can see right now, is in a very defined channel, right? Very tight over the pre-market session. It's about an 8-point range between 56.32 and 56.40. So a very tight range here on the ES. And I think the best trade of the day is likely to come on a break and hold above or break and hold below, right? That's likely where your best trade will result from, right? Outside of this channel today on the S&P 500. So 56.32, 56.40. If we break to the downside of that range, I would probably wait for us to pull back. I see a little bit of you could look at this previous high right here, right? You can look at that previous high right there, but I would be more comfortable right here at 56.18. 56.18 has been proven here from yesterday's lows, and so if we do break below this pre-market low, I'd probably be waiting for the 56.18. This would really be my spot right here that I'd be comfortable with today to look for that next long if we get extended downside. If we do not, and that 56.32 just holds strong, and we break over this 40, then your long today is going to have to be a long over the 40, right? If we just sort of push higher today and you want to catch this long, your long is going to have to be over this 40 level today. So 56.32, 56.40, 56.18, 56.10. Those are my levels. SPY, really clean level on the SPY this morning, guys. It's 5.56. This actually might be the cleanest level that I've seen out there. That is just perfectly at previous day highs that we're holding above today, right? Look at how clean this one is. 5.56 on the SPY. You can see we had yesterday rejections at 5.56 early morning. And this morning, you can see we are perfectly holding above it. So it doesn't get much cleaner than this, right? SPY holding above yesterday's highs on a double bottom low right now. And so that is what I'm going to be watching. If we break under the 5.56, then I know we could weaken, right? No doubt. If we break under 5.56, if we do not hold that yesterday high and we start to fail below yesterday's highs, then it's pretty clear that there's going to be a little bit of weakness that steps in, and we probably trade back down, in my opinion, either back down to that 5.54.50, or I've been battling to whether I want to put this level on my charts. It's right around this 5.55.40, and I'll show you why. I don't know if I want to put this on my charts or not. I'm still trying to decide, to be honest. It's right around here, right? We can see these sort of highs that came in yesterday, right around that 5.55.50. See right here? So I've been battling whether I want to put this here, whether I think this is a potential hold level. It very much could be, right? Because we can see right here, previous holds, rejections, rejections, and then that pre-market hold, right? See that right there? Rejection yesterday, rejection yesterday. So this looks like a pretty key spot. This could be where we pull back to and hold today, right around that 550, 550. That is something you could keep on your charts. You definitely can see in the short term the reactions and the flips that went on here, right? No doubt about that. That's very clear. Yeah, it could be anywhere between 50 and 36. I see the 36 level. But yeah, that whole zone, right? The 35 to 50 zone right here. It definitely could be an influential spot today. You can see that's where that pre-market move started to happen. You can see that's where these intraday rejections came in. So yeah, I see that as well. Right in this 550, 555, 35, 555, 50. This whole zone could be a sort of zone to watch if we do pull back under that 556 today. So yeah, I'm going to keep that on my charts. Just understand that that's a little bit of a short-term level. The more comfortable level for me would be yesterday's lows, okay? All right, I'd be much more comfortable at yesterday's lows for a long entry. The reason for that, right, because here's how my mind works. So this is just a real quick glimpse into my intraday thought process. Let's say we break under this level today, right? Let's say we get under 556 and we start trading right around here, right? Let's say we're trading right around here. So at that point, this level now turns into a red rejection spot, right? And so if I'm going to look for longs, and I'm going to look for longs maybe down at this 555.35, then I need to be careful of it just pushing higher and sort of dead cat bouncing, right? So that's why when I don't like a level too much to long, sometimes I'll leave it off my charts, because if we do trade under 556 and we do fail under yesterday's highs, am I really interested in longing this spot right back into yesterday's highs? Not really, right? Is it that much of a trade? Do I really need to trade that? Do I need to long 555.35 right back into yesterday's highs and get caught in a dead cat bounce or just a lower high? Not really, right? So that's why I don't love this level. That's why I've talked about some of those levels I don't love today. Because if we break under yesterday's highs, I'm going to need much more downside before I feel comfortable longing it, right? I need a true demand level before I'm interested in taking long. So if we do break under 556 today, which we're getting pretty close to it, then I would probably require this pullback right here before I get interested in any kind of long opportunities. I'd be more interested down at this 554.50. So that's sort of my thought process there. I'm not going to long, levels right back into yesterday's highs if there's not enough margin. I need some meat. Give me some meat, right? I need some meat on these trades. I'm not going to just, long right back into that high. I want some meat on the trades, and I feel like I get a little bit of meat, a little bit of value down at yesterday's lows. All right. Russell. So a nice hold on the Russell of the 2035 yesterday and a nice pop higher, but it looks like we're still just sort of stuck, right? The Russell's still just sort of stuck. We can clearly see this 150 SMA just not giving up, right? We see a lot of weakness, a lot of selling up at these levels, right? You see right here, 2080, 2060. So while I talked about this yesterday, while I do like that 2035 demand, I definitely like it. We can clearly see that it is still just sort of a chop fest in here. So while I think you could find that low and that long off 2035, it might just still be a scalp, guys. It might just still be a scalp. 2060, 2080, those are two levels I'd be careful of on the Russell. Dow Jones sort of just still sitting right under this 39.8, right? We can see we've been talking about this 39.8, this 40,000, big rejection of 40,000 yesterday, actually. Look at this, right? Look at that 40,000 pop on the NASDAQ, and look at that fail again. So, yeah, pretty weak. I mean, not weak, but just major rejection still on the Dow here at 39.8 and 40,000. No doubt about it. So be careful into those levels. All right. All right, we got 1,600 people, 600 likes. Not good. Press that like button. I'm going to take a sip of water, and I'm going to run an ad on you. and then we'll get into some stocks. Eat the ice. All right. Here we go. Press that like button. Subscribe. Nvidia. Actually, you know what? We'll start with Tesla. So, fantastic consolidation, right? If we have some kind of a mature mindset and we actually understand that stocks can't go straight up, this is fantastic consolidation, and this is fantastic for Tesla stock, right? We're not going to go vertical, guys. We can't go vertical forever, okay? Tesla has gone up since Wednesday of 2 weeks ago, has gone up 36%, okay? A little bit of consolidation here is exactly what you want to see. So let's continue to look for it. Pay attention to where we pull back. Pay attention to where the consolidation sort of bases. This is going to be the next opportunity. For me, I need to see a test of 240 and possibly even a test of 230 before I'm getting that interested in longing this again. So I would really like 230. I would also be watching 240. So if I zoom in here on the 15-minute chart, here's what this current standing of Tesla looks like. So yesterday, we had a pop and we had a fail, right, up in that 260 spot. It's going to get very heavy up in this 265. We know that. If we go to the 4-hour chart, look at the 265, guys. There's no doubt about it. Look at that 265. 265 is really what caused the entire year of downside, right? Make sure you understand that. 265 is where it all started, right, for Tesla. The entire year of downside so far has started at 265. So this was actually December 28th. So basically, the first few trading days of this year started at 265, and that was where we moved from 265 to 138. So it's going to get very difficult up here. There's no doubt. Right? So be careful. We're not chasing into 265 here. That is a major spot. That would turn Tesla green on the year. Okay? Over 265 turns Tesla green on the year, which would be huge. So it's going to be difficult up there, no doubt. So 265, big spot up there. Next, 254. You can clearly see the failures at 254 in the short term, right? 254, 254, 254. And so what do I want to see to make me believe that Tesla can go higher? Well, at this point, we need a hold and close above 254. We need a close of the day over 254. If we see that, then I think you can get more upside. A close over 254 is required to make me be confident that Tesla can move higher. Not just a move above it, right? Because we have now been proven that a move above it does not mean anything, right? A move and a fail right back below. So we need a solid close over 254. That would get interesting. Now, before I'm even interested in longing this, if it's not over 254, I need some deeper pullbacks. I need 240. I need 230. I need some of this, I need some people to take profits. I need some panic sellers, right? I need some drop to get some people worried about it. And I need to get it back to 240, back to 230. And then I look to recoup, right, those positions for that pullback long. So that's how I'm going to play Tesla. If it's not back at 240, it's not back at 230. I talked about this with you guys. I'm not trading the options. I'm holding my shares, right? If we go back to 240 or 230, then I'll get interested in the options trades, getting margin, getting more opportunity on my positions. So that's my mindset. 240, 230, even this 218 are spots to be looking for. I would not be longing Tesla up and near this 254 and up near this 265. I would require some deeper pullbacks before you get interested. I'm not that interested in yesterday's lows margin. I know it's there, the 244.50. I need more, right? That's just me. I want deeper pullbacks. That is what will keep me confident. It will keep me in a good mindset. I will be confident in my trade plan, and that's what matters at the end of the day. You have to be confident in your trade plan. So I will be confident in my trade plan at 240 or 230. and that's about it. I'm not going to try to long some of these previous lows. You can see you're still failures above. I'm just not interested in taking little pieces here. I want the big move. I want the really clean pullback entry. I want some panic to get in here. I want people on the live stream. I want people on Twitter to start say Tesla's dead. It's over. This is all bullshit, right? Tesla's going to go back down. That's what I want to start seeing. Until I see that, I'm a little bit cautious. But I want to start seeing some people panic out of their positions, right? So give me some, straight down movement to 240. Give me a nice, 10% downside day back down to 230. Start getting people questionable, and then look to see if we can jump back into this thing. That's what you want to look for. That's what I'm looking for, at least. Nvidia. So patience has been paid big time. I've been sitting patient in Nvidia. We've made plenty of content about this trade. We've talked about this potential setup for quite some time now, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing. There is a final level that I need to break today. It looks to be around this 130.77. It's yesterday's highs. I really want to see that break today. You can see yesterday we got that push into that level and got a pretty harsh rejection. We're sort of sitting above it or sitting below it again today. So there's still a level in the way, but I definitely like the way this is building. We can see right here. Let me go ahead and move this line over because it's a little ugly right there. I'm going to go 129. 1 second. We can very clearly see in the short term there has been a shift in momentum, right? There's no doubt. We have seen a shift. So the last few prior weeks, we had this very clear downtrending move on Nvidia, and the shift has very clearly come in. We have now shifted to making higher highs and higher lows. No doubt about the shift. No doubt about a potential structure shift and possibly a breakout. We went from a downtrending move to a breakout and a little break and retest hold. We are now turning, right, the 125 level into a very clear support. You can see that 125 did a break and retest hold yesterday. That is exactly what we wanted to see. And if we go down to the shorter term time frames, we can now see some of these key levels that are creating themselves on the short term. Yesterday, we can see that 127 held strong. And today, I'd like to see this 129 hold strong. You can see 129, 129, 129. So if we do pull back today, I'd like to see a higher low get built here at 129. So continue to build these higher lows for me, right? Keep on giving me those higher lows. Higher low 1, higher low 2, higher low 3. If I keep seeing these higher lows being built, then I'm going to continue to hold this Nvidia long and waiting for that eventual squeeze and breakout over the highs, right? No doubt about it. This is a fantastic little structure that's been going on. You can see this is number 1, right? Number 2, number 3 potentially. And if we keep doing this, I'm staying long. So today, I'd love to see us hold above this 129. I'm very happy to see that 127 hold yesterday and the 125 hold back from the overnight session into yesterday morning. So really clean stuff here. Guys, I'll say one thing because I see it a lot. Obviously I run a trading community, so I see all walks of life. I see all types of traders. I see all types of emotions on an intraday basis. If you're going to trade something like this, if you're going to have the mentality of swing trading something and you're going to try to maintain a position as long as it's staying in a positive structure, you got to somehow find some patience. You got to find patience. You got to find a way to trade without emotion. There is so much emotion on the short-term time frames. If you're just looking at the 1 minute, 2 minute chart yesterday on Nvidia, oh my God, it's back up. Oh my God, it's back down. Oh my God, it's back up. Oh my God, it's back down. The thing and the one and only thing that I paid attention to yesterday was 127. And as long as it was above that, I did not give a shit what Nvidia did all day. All right. That's how you're going to have to think through this. Right. So today, Nvidia could do this. It could do this. It could do this. It could do that. It could go to the left somehow. It could go back straight to the right. It could go down and to the left, back and do this, right? As long as it's above 129, I ain't touching that position, okay? And that's how you're going to have to think through these if you want to try to maintain these positions and try to catch some of these big runners. You're going to have to find a level. You're going to have to stay patient on it. You're going to have to be in a comfortable position, and you can't be panicked over the 30-second chart all day. You have to hold these trades as long as your plan and your structure is intact. So 129 for me today is exactly where I need to see it hold. If it breaks back below it, I'll have some thoughts, right? That's where I'll start to potentially react today. If I see it start to break under there, then I'll potentially react to something. But until then, I ain't touching this thing, all right? This is the video I made about it yesterday. The video I made yesterday is about this topic. And if you've been having some problems with that, I recommend you go watch it. AMD. So, AMD yesterday, right? Pretty shitty open, pretty shitty price action all morning, just a total shit show. But there was one thing and one thing only that I was paying attention to, right? You can see AMD, total shit show yesterday. How am I still holding it? Because all I was paying attention to yesterday was this 15-minute chart, and are we holding above the previous day high, right? That was really it for me. Are we holding above the previous day high? If we are, it's still bullish, right? So yesterday, we saw a very clear hold over Friday's highs pretty much all day. We had a previous day high at 174, and we never gave that level up. We had a few wicks below it, but I'm not managing a trade on the 1-minute chart. And so you can see 174, and look at that demand that was built all day at 174 on AMD, eventually resulting in the upside continuation. So what am I looking for today? It's pretty much the exact same thing. To me, it's right around this 177. You can see right here on AMD, it's 177. So right here, you have previous day highs, you have this late day support, and you can see right now in the pre-market, 177. So for me today, I personally am going to hold AMD further. I'm definitely going to hold it until 174 on my side, right? Because I'm very comfortable with where I'm in. I'm up a lot. I'm up like 100, almost 200% now. So I'm going to give it some space. I'll maybe scalp some off today. But as long as AMD is above 177, and for me, 174, I continue to hold this trade. If you want to be a little bit tighter on your swing trades, right, then you can use the 177. If it breaks under that today, I would expect us to see a little bit of weakness. All right, so if we fail back under yesterday's highs, we fail back under this yesterday's support, then I'd probably expect some weakness on AMD, possibly back down to that 174. But 177 for now is that spot that as long as we're holding above it, this is still a very bullish move. I believe AMD is targeting this high right here. This is where I believe AMD is going to move to 184. 184, 184, 184, 184. I think that's your target on AMD. That's that daily high. That's where I'm looking for AMD to move higher into. Okay? TSM, gap fill, right? Again, another gap fill on TSM. We talked about this gap fill last week. That gap fill from 185 to 182. And yesterday we had another gap up and we filled it again. So the gap fill long continues to look like a trade for TSM. And about 10 minutes before close yesterday, we took it. Actually, 30 minutes before close. So yesterday before close, I went ahead and I entered a TSM July 12th 190 call. Gap fill long worked on Friday. I'm trying it again, right? And this is it's beautiful. Beautiful, right? So that gap fill long continue to work on TSM. We'll see if it can hold up today. But we entered right here around that 185 level. That was the gap fill long, right? Gap up, gap fill, and that's your long entry. That was a beautiful long entry yesterday on TSM, and I'm hoping to see this thing continue higher today. As long as TSM is over that 185, this is a fantastic spot to look for new longs. SMCI, you really can't ask for much better of an 880 and 100 SMA hold all day yesterday on SMCI. We talked about 880. We talked about the 100 daily SMA, and look at just the beautiful holds that just sort of came in right above it yesterday. Good stuff there on SMCI. If you're going to try to trade SMCI here, you are going to have to trade it with a very long-term mindset. You're going to have to find a contract you're comfortable in, and you cannot trade it on the short-term time frames. SMCI is 100% not a stock that you can try to catch on the 1 minute, 5 minute, 2 minute chart. Okay? It is way too volatile. It is going to fake you out. It is literally the most emotional stock on an intraday basis. If you're going to trade this SMCI trade, you're going to take a long and you're going to have a stop under 880 and you're not going to look at it until it stops you out. Right? That's how I would recommend trading this. If you think SMCI is poised for a nice upside move, if you like the hold over 880, if you like the hold over the 100 SMA here, and you think this is poised for more upside, then you need to get in a nice comfy position. You got to sit back in your chair. You cannot care about the loss, and you just got to let this ride. If you try to trade this on the short term, it's going to do a lot of dancing. It's a very emotional stock. It's very similar to Netflix in that regard. So that would be my personal recommendation. Obviously, the contracts are expensive, so I don't know if I recommend this for a smaller account. But as long as SMCI is over that daily 100 and over that 880, I think it's building a potential base there, something I'd be paying attention to. All right, let's go to Broadcom. Broadcom, very nice comeback for me yesterday. Entered these on Friday, sort of got chopped up on them, just sort of was weak all day, was really confused as to why, and really it looked like it just needed a pullback because Friday we had some intense strength on the SMH, intense strength on the semis, and Broadcom pretty much went down all day. Moved down into that 1700, and it looks like yesterday was sort of the comeback day for Broadcom. So very nice continuation here on Broadcom. I still think this is a stock that likely comes back to all-time highs after a very strong earnings and a nice pullback opportunity. I think this is nothing but a opportunity to long this thing again to new highs. So I'm going to stay very patient on this one. Patience has been the correct move here so far. So right now I am watching to see, can we get over 1760 today? If we can get over 1760 today, then I think we trade into 1800. If we get over 1800, we have the 1830. And above that, you have all-time highs. So I am definitely looking to see if this stair-step can start to work, right? I'm basically just looking for this stair-step here on Broadcom, and that's pretty much what it's been doing, right? Broadcom has been in a stair-step, and I'm looking for it to stay in the stair-step, right? Very nice stair-stepping upside so far. You can see right here, sort of stair-stepping every time right to the upside, and I'm going to continue to look for that to continue, right? So 1760, that is the level to watch today on Broadcom. Above that, 1800. If we do not hold 1760 today, then I would look for longs off 1700 again, right? Maybe a little bit of consolidation here is possible. Maybe a little cup. Oops. Delete that. Maybe it's a little cup and handle, right, for that next upside move. That's very possible. Oops, I deleted it. Anyways, now I'm messing around. 1700, 1760, I would watch these levels. Let's go to ARM. ARM's been a hot one. ARM has been holding over previous all-time highs. That is right here at 179. I would continue to look for pullbacks on ARM at 179. That would be my spot. If you can get a pullback to 179 on ARM, that's where I would look to long it right there. 179, that's the spot. If we go to the 5-minute chart, you guys can see yesterday, all day, held over 179. All day. Defense, 179, total defense at that level. If you get pullbacks to 179, that would be my long spot to keep an eye out for. Meta, very interesting on Meta today. I'm very intrigued by this. Meta was the total runaway stock of Friday. Runaway, right? Everyone probably chased the shit out of it on close Friday because they can't help themselves, and then straight back to the downside yesterday. This is exactly the pullback that you want, right? If you didn't chase, this is exactly what you wanted yesterday. This is going to get a lot of bulls interested, right? The ones that didn't chase, the ones that are not down, 50% because they took it at close. So very interesting, right? This is exactly what you wanted to see. This is a previous all-time high at 530 on Meta. We had a 530 on Meta, right? 530 all-time high rejection, and we just pulled back to it yesterday pretty much on a vertical move to the downside. So I am very interested in looking to see if Meta can hold true this 530, right on this 528.90. Can we hold here today? If we can, and if we see a strong defense get built here, I am very interested in trading this back to the upside. So big watch here on Meta today for me. I think yesterday was a gift. That's exactly what you wanted to see, right? You needed to see that little dip back into that previous all-time high. This was beautiful yesterday. Can we start to get some action today? That's really what I'm looking for. If we do not get the action over this 530 today, then we're likely going to trade back to 522, which could be another fantastic spot for a long entry, right? That would be right here at 522. That would be another fantastic look for a new long entry. This would be, if you guys like the fibs, if you're a fib boy retracement is back at 61.8. That's right here at this 522 area. So any pullback, right? I'm looking for pullbacks at 530. I'm looking for pullbacks at 522. If I see long step up at either one of these levels, I'm very intrigued by this. Definitely keep an eyes on Meta here. Netflix, really nice hold here on the hourly chart. You can see right here, we were talking about this level yesterday, 583, right? We had that 583 level, and look at how that held yesterday. So if we can hold over 690 today, I think Netflix might have some juice, right? Keep an eye on that 690 today. If we hold above it, I'd say you look for that 698. But a very nice hold here at the 683 yesterday. We had that level on our charts, and look at how well that held. Really nice. Still structuring to the upside, right? Very nice. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? We continue to look for this formation. That's how the market trades. The market does not go straight up. It makes higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Let's continue to look for it, okay? Netflix reports this week. Does it? 7/18 to next week. That's, is that even next week or is that 2 weeks? 18th? Yeah, next Thursday. Next Thursday. All right. Amazon. Yeah, I'd be a little cautious on Amazon. It looks to be having a lot of trouble up here on that 201, so I don't like that. I would say right here it would be their long spot, 197. 197 is your long spot on Amazon. Google, 2 spots to be watching on Google, 190 and 187.50. You can look for that 190 today on Google. I feel more comfortable at 187.50. Okay? 190, 187.50. Those are the 2 spots. Palantir. Not a stock that I'll typically look at, but everyone just always is in Palantir, man. It's crazy how many retail traders are in this stock. Like everyone I talk to, even outside of this live stream, like my friends are like, oh yeah, Palantir. I'm like, how does everyone have this stock? It's been doing well, right? It's definitely that comeback thesis is definitely there, right? So congratulations to those that have been, long off that $5, $5, the $14, the $20, right? It's been a pretty solid move higher, no lie. And Palantir is definitely something I don't put Palantir into the same category as like a GameStop or, this is actually a pretty solid government-funded company. So there is good things behind this company. It just typically does not trade how I would typically trade, guys. It's not really a tradable stock to me. That's why I don't really look at it. It's more of a, hey, I like this stuff. I like this company, and I'm going to invest in it. That would be more of, my opinion. But this is a nice structure move higher, right? We can see the structure. Not bad, right? See that right there. Very clean structure. We have these previous, $15 level. We have a nice structure hold over 20, right? Look at how it did this. Previous highs, new lows. Previous highs, new lows, right? Very nice structure there. It looks like 2750 is your next level here, guys, right? 2750. Can you hold above it? That would be your key, right? If it can, it creates new structure here, right? That's what you want to see, right? If you can hold over 2750, you create a new structure here. You pretty much do the exact same thing, right? 1, 2, 3, and 4. So your new structure low needs to be 2750. If it is, then you're looking for that opportunity to the upside. And you can see, look at the defense that came in at 2750 yesterday. All right, very nice. Very nice. So that's what you're looking for. All right, let's go over Apple real quick. What a runaway. Just a runaway, man. Apple, a monster. You got to love it. You got to love it. When Apple's healthy, everything's healthy, man. Apple, healthy stock. Looks like investors are loving some of the AI stuff that they talked about. I don't know exactly what it means for the company, but all I care is that the stock's going up, and I own a lot of it. So 224. That was our level from yesterday, right? What did we talk about in a trend like this, in a runaway like this, when a stock is running away with it? You need to have a strong mentality, and you need to long scary pullbacks. Okay, that's the way I'll put it. Scary pullbacks is what you need to long if you want a long Apple. Whatever feels scary to you you need to flip that mentality very quickly. Any pullback in a trend like this is going to be a friend of yours. And so yesterday, we had that exact scary pullback that no one wants to touch, right? Back right into that 224 demand that we had on our charts. And look at the result of it. All right, so straight down, right into demand. We had this level on our charts yesterday. If you come to the pre-market live stream, you know that. Let me see if I probably even have it here. Right here. Right? Apple. The stair step has been very clean on Apple. Right? Look for pullback longs along the ride higher. Next level I'll be watching is 224. Any pullback there would get me interested in longs, right? Right there, 224. That's the exact spot that we pulled back to. This was the chart. That was our 224 level. We had an aggressive pullback into it, and look at the long that was created off of it, right? So scary pullbacks, right? Change that mindset. Stop being scared of downside in a market that's been going straight up, right? So if we get downside today, back into 224, let's look for it, right? Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen for you again today. That opportunity is likely gone. So now at this point, you got to see if we can hold over 228. If we hold over 228, that could be your next long. If not, then look for that 224, okay? All right, guys. That's probably going to be about it for me. 20,710. Actually, I'm going to move it down to right there, which was, it might be 700. Yeah, it probably is 700. 20,700. That's probably it right there. 20,700, 700, 700. So I'd move that down to 20,700. That would be my level here on the NQ futures. Yesterday's high is 20,670. And of course, that 575. Let's take a quick peek at that QQQ. 484.40. 484.40. Right there, 484.40. Let's go to that ES. So ES still valid at that 32. And then the SPY still valid at that 556. Okay, very nice. All right, guys, that's all I got. If you could, press that like button for me. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for everything. We got a few T-shirts left. If you guys want to put me out of stock, I think we got, let me see what we got left. Not many, I'll tell you that. We got some double XLs on Trust the Levels, double and triple XLs. So not much left there. And by the way, guys, I do not make money off these. I'll make that very apparent, okay? I just love to see you guys in these shirts. I do not make money off these shirts. They sell for, I'm selling them for $10 with the discount. I'll put it back on the website for you. Trust me, these are not $10 shirts to make. They're more expensive than that. So if anything, I think you're just covering my cost. So if you want some merch on the low, check it out. Make sure to go down below. It's in the link. I'm gonna put the code back on the website. It's gonna be TTL to be 50% off. So wait for that. TTL, code TTL for 50% off. All right. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace and love.
girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I love the girls with their nails done.